Garden Yogis, Nicolette here at San Francisco Botanical Garden. Thanks for joining for virtual yoga. We are in the Redwoods today, and we're going to be getting started in a comfortable cross-legged seat, our Sukhasana. So find your comfortable seat. Pull out any extra cushion from underneath your sits bones. Sit up nice and tall through the spine. And we'll ground down our palms on our knees. And just shut your eyes down. And right away, start to come into your practice. Start to notice your breath. Start to check in with your mind and body today. And for a moment, start to notice what's happening around you in your space. So pay attention to any distractions for a moment, and then just let them float away and start to center yourself on your mat. And then check in with your physical body. Are you tired? Are you energetic? Do you have any injury anywhere that you want to send a little bit more love, a little more breath and attention to today? Sending some awareness to those feelings. And then checking in with our headspace, our mental state today. How are we feeling? No right or wrong answer, just sending your attention there. There's a lot of uncertainty around us, and a lot of anticipation, a lot of waiting. And so I'll invite you today to use your yoga practice to become more present on and off your mat. So remembering that we can find joy in our day-to-day lives, in the mundane and whatever it might be. We don't have to constantly think about what's coming next when we might be going back out into the world more often, going back to work, traveling, having more leisure, just letting go of all those wanderings and anticipations, and trying to find some joy in the simplicity of the day-to-day. Start to find our yoga breath, our ujjayi breath. So it's an even, steady breath in through the nose and out through the nose, using the whisper muscles in the back of the throat. And so before we start breathing together, I'll invite you to take your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. If that feels natural, maybe you want to do the other way, right hand to heart, left hand to belly, whatever feels more natural to you and comfortable. And shut your eyes down if they're not already closed. Open and close the mouth a few times. Part the teeth in the mouth to release the jaw. Kind of let the eyes roll back in the head. Relax all the muscles of the face. The shoulders melt down and slightly back. Feel open across the heart space. Good, and then empty out the lungs through the nose. Deep, steady breath in. Fill yourself with air. Expand the chest, expand the belly. Feel the ribs grow. Good, and then deep exhale out. Press the air out, and again, fill up with air, deep breath in. Fill the belly, fill the chest, expand the ribs. And then a deep exhalation. Good, another one, fill up. Feel the heartbeat in your hands as you fill your chest with air. Exhale. Good, 2 more breaths like that. Big breath in. Deep exhale. And big, steady inhale. Fill yourself with air. Feel yourself expanding. And then exhale out. Good, you can flutter the eyes open and start to release the hands at the sides. I want to take a big breath and reach the arms up. Maybe your gaze follows And then a nice twist to the right. So right hand behind you, left hand to your right knee. Sit up really tall. Breath in and breath out, twist. Maybe look back behind you. Good, and slowly come through center, arms reach up. And then a gentle twist over to the left. Left hand back, right hand, left knee. Sit up tall. And exhale, twist from the belly. Good, come on through center. And then we're simply going to take our feet out in front of us, about hip width distance. We're going to take our hands back behind us, fingers face the body, and our hands are about shoulder distance apart. Take a breath in and breath out. Start to lift your hips up for our reverse tabletop. Good, so press away from the ground with your arms, kind of pin your shoulder blades together. You can tuck your chin in, or if it feels okay on the neck, you can release your head back. Good, a couple breaths here. Big inhale. Exhale, spread the toes, press into the feet as you lift your hips. Good, another breath. Exhale. Good, inhale, lift a bit higher. And on your exhale, drop your hips down. We're gonna find Navasana boat pose. So lift the toes. If you would like, open the arms. And instead of leaning back, kind of pull the chest through the arms. And lots of options today. So for less, your toes will tap to the mat. For more, your legs will come up. For the most, your legs will straighten. Good, so take a couple breaths wherever you're comfortable. Filling up with air. Exhaling out. Last one, inhale, open the heart. And on your exhale, place your feet where they were and the hands back where they were and lift to reverse tabletop. Good, one big breath in. Breath out, press into the arms. Inhale. And exhale back to Navasana boat pose. Your variation, big breath in. Exhale. And then feet down, hands down. Last one, inhale here. Exhale. And then drop it down. We're gonna find our seat. We're gonna scooch back a little bit and take the legs out long in front of us. Good, flex through the feet. Reach up through the arms. And we'll find a forward fold, so keep a straight spine as long as you can. Reach, reach, reach. And then when you're ready, start to place the hands down and tuck the chin for your forward fold. Good, on your next inhale, pull the heart forward a little bit more. And then exhale, deepen your fold, release down. One breath to stay. Empty the lungs. Good, slowly start to come back up. And we'll make our way to all fours. So spread those fingers nice and wide. Hands right under the shoulders and the knees are under the hips. Belly drops down, gaze comes up, tailbone raises for our cow pose. And then exhale, cat pose. Tuck the chin, press away from the ground, round the spine. Good. Inhale, belly drops, tailbone raises, heart pulls through the arms. And then exhale, round. Good. Last cow pose, open up, flip the tailbone to the sky. Exhale, round in your cat. And this time start to tuck the toes under. Slowly lift the hips up, first downward facing dog. So we're in our down dog. Move around a little bit, shake the hips left and right, wagging the tail, maybe pedaling, bicycling through the heels and the feet, coming onto the toes and dropping one of the heels down. Shake the head, yes and no, release tension in the neck. Good, so find some movement and then start to steady yourself. So really pressing into the hands here. Little bend in the knees to start. Press your chest back towards your thighs. Heels are reaching down toward the ground. Good. Big steady breath in. Exhale out. One more here. Inhale. Exhale. Good. We're going to find some movement. So start to walk your feet closer together or maybe to touch. Keep your hips nice and high, and then slowly roll forward like a wave to your high push-up plank position. Good. So press away from the ground, hollow out the armpits here. Gaze right between the thumbs. You can always drop your knees here for a little bit less. Good. Take a breath in, and then we're just going to roll back, downward facing dog with the feet together. Good. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly pull yourself forward, high push-up. Good. Breath in. Breath out, roll the hips high, down dog. Just warming up the spine a bit. Good. Inhale, pull forward, high push-up. And this time, if you would like, you can always go back to down dog, or maybe start to drop your hips down, keeping the toes tucked under for an upward facing dog. Good. So pull the shoulder heads back. Maybe look over your left shoulder. Good. Open the heart forward, and maybe gaze over the right shoulder. Good. Come to your high push-up, and then press up, downward facing dog. Good. We'll do that once more. Pull yourself forward, high push-up. Drop the hips, upward facing dog. Pull the shoulders back, open the heart, maybe look up. And then roll yourself back to plank and back to down dog, opening your feet wide. Good. Breath in. And an exhalation. Rise up to toes, bend the knees deep, look between your hands, and slowly walk yourself between your hands. Good. Nice forward fold. Nice easy one to start. Bend the knees, drape the belly over the thighs, crown of the head drops down. And then press off your shin bones for your first halfway lift. Fingers point down, shoulders pull back, head presses forward. Gaze out in front of the toes. Good. Breath in and breath out. Deepen your fold. Head drops. Start to root into the feet and rise up to the sky. Grow really tall. Good. Let the hands come together to touch. And then bring them down to heart center. Maybe gazing down. Good. And if you would like to set an intention for your practice, a mantra perhaps to repeat throughout our practice today, you can do so now. So maybe that is joy, or being present, peacefulness, self-love, compassion, whatever that might be. Take a breath in, breathe that intention through the body, exhale. Good. Drop the hands to the sides, mountain pose, inhale. Exhale, fingertips pull to the ground, root the feet into the earth. And then start to reach up to the sky. We're going to separate our feet hip-width distance and our arms shoulder-width here. And we're going to add what I like to call sunflowers into our sun salutation A today. So we're going to reach up, and we're going to just tip the upper body all the way down through the right side. Fingertips will graze the ground. And then you just come up through the left side. Good. And when you get to the top, root into the feet, reach up to the sky. Maybe you look up, and then just go left this time. Good. And when you get up to the top this time, the palms will touch, and maybe you add a little back bend. So you're pressing the hips forward, just bending through the upper thoracic spine, little baby back bend, and then pull the hands either through heart center or swan dive down. Good. Push off your shins, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, and step back for your high push-up. Good. One breath to stay. Exhale. And this first time, let's lower our knees, chest, and chin. And then pull ourselves forward, Cobra pose. Opening up the heart. Good. And then press back to hands and knees. Open the knees wide, big toes touch, sink into child's pose. Good. Take your forehead to the ground. And maybe roll it left to right. Sink back through the hips a little bit more, reach the arms a bit more forward. And just know that child's pose is a wonderful resting posture. You can come here at any point in your practice. Just breathing, taking a little break, grounding yourself. Good. One more breath here, breathing in. Deep deep exhale. And then pull yourself forward, tuck your toes under, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Good, big breath in. And a deep breath out. Rise to toes, bend the knees, look forward, and walk yourself forward. Find that halfway lift, press off your shins, and exhale, forward fold. Root into the feet, rise to the sky, and step your feet hip width distance. Take a breath in, reach up, and this time tip on over to the left. Come all the way down, graze the fingertips on the ground, roll up the other side, reach up, and then take it over to the right. Good, come on up. Let the palms touch, maybe add that little back bend. And this time maybe swan dive or hands through heart center. Bend the knees, float down. Pressing off the shins, halfway lift. And stepping back to high push-up, knees, chest, chin. Roll yourself to Cobra pose, open the heart. And press back, downward facing dog. Big breath in. And let it go. We'll flow through our sun salutation variation 2 more times. So inhale, rise to toes, bend, and make your way forward. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And Uttanasana, fold in half. Rise to the sky, grow tall. Step your feet hip width distance. Reach on up and float over to the right for your sunflower. Rolling up the left side, reach, and take it on over to the left. Good, get to the top, find a little back bend if you like. And then swan dive, float like a feather, open heart. Ardha Uttanasana. And this time, if you would like to find Chaturanga Dandasana, we'll find our high push-up. We'll pull our heart forward, lower halfway, and then flip the toes, open the heart, upward facing dog, hips are up, and downward facing dog. So you can always find knees, chest, chin. You can always skip your vinyasa, go straight to downward facing dog, or you can find your full chaturanga. Good, rise to toes, bend, and make your way to the front. Halfway lift, and forward fold, head drops. Rise to the sky, grow tall, feet come hip width distance, reach up and roll on over to the left. Good, coming up the other side, reach to the sky and roll to the right. Good, come on up, maybe add that back bend, maybe stepping the feet together first. And then swan dive, float down. Halfway lift, big inhale. And exhale, your high to low push-up, knees, chest, chin, whatever variation works for you today. Lifting the heart through the arms. And we'll meet in our downward facing dog. Good, a couple breaths here, inhale. Exhale. One more to stay, big breath in. And a deep exhale. We're going to walk our feet together to touch, and we're going to extend our right leg back behind us for our first 3-leg down dog. So act like there's a wall back there. You're going to step on, flex your right foot, open up through the toes. And if it feels good, you can start to stack your hip open, maybe bending your knee. And you can stay here. For a little bit more today, you can take your left forearm down to the mat. I found that this is a nice stretch that I did in another class recently. And then imagine that your left forearm is pressing into the mat and reaching in the opposite direction as your right knee. Good, big breath in. Exhale, reach those two apart. And then pop up the forearm. Release the leg long. And that right foot is going to come forward toward the right hand. And then placed down on the mat. Setting up for warrior one, our back foot spins down, faces the front left corner of our mat, and we lift ourselves to stand. Good, come right into your center. And we're going to square our hips to the front. So you can take your hips, and that left hip pulls forward, right hip pulls back. A nice bend in your right knee. And then the arms reach to the sky, shoulders melt down. Maybe shut your eyes. Press into the pinky edge of your back foot. Big breath in. Big exhale. Good. Feel your inner thighs squeezing together so you're pulling up in the pelvic floor. And then let the hands touch. Maybe you add a little back bend here. And bring the hands down. Frame the front foot. And either step back to down dog or perhaps three-leg down dog. And then downward facing. Good. Left leg extends up when you're ready. Flex through the foot. Spread the toes. You can stay here. You can release the leg higher, opening the hip and bending the knee. You can stay here, or perhaps the right forearm comes down. Good. And you feel that extension. The left knee pulls away from the right forearm. Big breath in. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Pop up that right forearm, straighten out the left leg, and slowly left foot comes forward to the left hand. Setting up for warrior one, our back foot faces the front right corner of the mat at a 45-degree angle, and we sink into our center. Good, release your shoulders, maybe shut your eyes. That left hip pulls back as the right hip pulls forward. One last breath in our warrior one. And then the palms touch. Perhaps you add a little back bend here. And then pull the hands through heart center. Either down dog or three-leg down dog. Left leg high and lower it down. Good. Big breath in. Exhale. We're going to take that right leg up to the sky. And then slowly pull it forward, knee to nose. Maybe hover there for a moment. And then set that right foot down. Warrior one, start to lift up. And sink into center. One breath here, big inhale. Exhale. Maybe add a little back bend. And pull yourself down. Good, this time we're going to pop onto the ball of our back foot, so we're in a low lunge. The left hand plants down and the right arm lifts up for a twist. Maybe look to your top hand, big breath in, breath out. Press away from the ground with that left hand. And maybe that right hand extends back behind you and your gaze follows. Breath in, exhale, and then circle it down to the ground. That right foot meets the left and you do knees, chest, chin, or high to low push-up. Heart opens, and we meet in downward facing dog. Good, moving to the left side, inhale the left leg behind you, and pull it forward, maybe hover knee to nose, and left foot to left hand, setting up for warrior one, lifting up, squaring the hips to the front of the mat, and settling into our center. One big breath in, and release. Reach it back, and pull it down. Good, find that low lunge, pop onto the ball of the right foot. Right hand plants down, left arm lifts up for a twist. Good, so maybe gaze to that top hand. Press away from the ground with that right hand. And maybe the left hand extends back, and the gaze can follow. Big breath in, exhale, and then circle that hand all the way down. Left foot meets the right, and find the vinyasa of your choice. Cobra or upward facing dog for your back bend. And we'll meet hips high, downward facing dog. One big inhale, exhale it out. And rise to your toes, bend your knees deep, look between your hands. We'll walk ourselves forward. Good, Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And then forward fold Uttanasana. Grow tall, root down through the feet, rise up to the sky. And then then we'll sink into our first chair pose, Uttanasana. Good, so we're sinking down through the hips. A slight tucking of the tailbone so we don't compromise the low back. The weight is mostly in the heels. The toes can be light or lifting. And the arms come back by the ears. For a little bit less, the hands can come to heart center. You can stay right here, or today we're going to play with the hip stretch in our chair pose. So we will lift up through the right knee and cross that right ankle over the left knee, sinking back into chair. Good, so hands can stay at heart center, they can come up. Or you can start to lean yourself forward a little bit through the chest, finding a little bit of a deeper hip stretch. So these are our half pigeon legs in our chair pose. If your balance is off today, regular chair is great. One more breath here, inhale, exhale, and then we'll slowly lift up, take that right knee high, and then drop the right foot down. Good, maybe shake out the left leg a little, and reach to the sky, and onto the other side, chair pose. Good, so a slight tuck of the tailbone, light through the toes. This time the left knee lifts, and the left ankle crosses the right knee. Good, sink into your chair, hands can come to heart, and maybe you lean yourself forward a little bit. Any variation that works for you on this side. Steady inhale, deep exhale. Good, last one. And slowly release, left knee high, and then down to the mat. Good, reach up and swan dive down. Halfway lift, breath in, and breath out, your version of high to low push-up. Heart opens through the arms, Cobra or up dog, and we meet downward facing dog. Good, take a steady breath in, exhale out, and then we'll find breaths of rest. So if you don't need rest, down dog is a great place to stay. If you'd like a few relaxing grounding breaths in your child's pose, drop it down, knees wide, toes touch, forehead comes to the mat, maybe grabbing a sip of water. Last breath of rest. Deep exhale. And take your time. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet in downward facing dog. And if you do have a yoga block handy, like this here, it might be great for our next series to use it. But if not, that's okay. So find your way to down dog. And we'll start to lift our right leg up to the sky and slowly pull forward. Hover maybe knee to nose, and then set that foot down right in between the hands. The back foot spins parallel to the back of the mat, and we cartwheel up to warrior two this time. Good, so in warrior two, back foot is parallel, front foot is facing forward, and that heel is in alignment with the middle of your back foot. Your hips and shoulders are square to the side of your mat, and then your gaze falls forward. Good, really strong through the arms, but still relaxing through the shoulders and the face. Nice bend in that right knee, and it's opening toward the pinky edge of your foot. Fill yourself with air, and empty out. Press fully into that back foot, the pinky edge. Press fully into your front foot, opening that knee. Good, and then reach yourself forward a bit. Reverse your warrior, right hand high. Back hand can hover or come to your back thigh. Your gaze can come to your back foot. Good, reach back, maybe add a little baby back bend. And start to straighten through your right knee. Not completely so you lock out the knee joint, but mostly straightened. And then we're gonna find Konasana. So reaching forward, right hand down, left hand high, triangle pose. So I like to step my back foot up just a little bit, a couple inches. So that might feel more comfortable for you as well. We want to open up our chest to the sky here. Good, so the right side of the heart is lifting up. That right hand can be on a shin, or you can use your block if you have it on the inside or outside at any length. Good, because we're really open through the left side, but we don't want to collapse into the right side. We still want to have some length on the right side as well. Good. So stay right here if this is comfortable for you. For a little bit more, you can reach that right hand forward. Good, and maybe that top arm comes overhead. And as you do that, you're still spinning your chest up toward the sky. Good, so it's a big side body stretch. If your neck is sore, you can gaze down. 2 breaths here, inhale. Exhale. Last one, big breath in, breath out. Drop that bottom hand, lift the left. Good, and start to reach up. Reverse your warrior here. Bend into that front knee. And this is where you might want your block if you have it. We're gonna move into our balancing Halfmoon. So we are going to move back a little. Reach about a foot in front of that right foot and come up to balance. So our left hand lifts, baby bend in that right knee. Good. And that block can be great underneath the right hand. Shoulder stacks right over the wrist. And in our Halfmoon, our hips are square, our chest are square to the side of our mat, just like our warrior two. Your gaze can come down to the ground. Lots of variations here. If you feel great and your balance is good, that right hand can come to the heart. You can always bend your back knee, reaching for your ankle. So find what works for you. One more breath in balancing Halfmoon. And then we're slowly going to take our left hand to the ground, square our hips to the mat, and find our standing split. So if you have your block, you can still use it under your hands. So our left leg is lifted. You can either keep the hip square or you can open that left hip up a bit if that feels good. And you're folding over your right leg. Your forehead comes toward your right shin bone. One more breath in, breath out. Good, and then we're gonna hover that left knee right behind the right knee for a moment. So hover there, maybe you lift your hands up for a second, and then we're gonna come all the way down to a seat. Good, so sit down and that left foot is crossed over, the right foot is crossed over the left knee here. So get even on your sits bones, and we're gonna find a twist to the right. So reach your arms up and slowly twist to the right, right hand behind you, and that left hand hugs that left knee. Big breath in, exhale, twist. And then a gentle counter twist the other way. So drop over to the left, little twist, counter twist. And so our left leg is sort of set up for our half pigeon pose. So our left leg stays where it is, our right leg scooches back behind us. Good. So we want to come up even on our hips. Your block now might be great underneath your left hip to help square your hips off to the front of the mat. Your left knee is near your left wrist. And your shin is either parallel to the front of the mat or that foot is back by your right hip a little bit. So walk the hands toward your hips. Tuck your chin, you can stay right here. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, walk to forearms or all the way down. Just take 2 breaths here in our hip opener, our half pigeon pose. Lift up as you're ready. And then we are going to scoot onto the left hip this time. That right leg is going to scooch forward. And the left foot comes into the right thigh. Good. Flex that right foot, and we'll just find our forward fold like the beginning. So reach up to the sky with the arms. Reach forward with a flat back as long as you can, and then fold down. Good. Inhale, reach the heart forward a little bit more, and deepen your fold. Maybe grabbing a foot, the mat, a shin, whatever works. Relaxing down through the forehead or tucking the chin in toward the chest. Big inhale. Exhale. Good. Slowly roll yourself forward. And there's no graceful way, but we'll make our way to downward facing dog. So maybe that right leg comes back and you press up, downward facing dog. Good. So find your down dog for a breath. Just do all of that on the left side. So as you're ready, that left leg lifts up to the sky. And slowly left foot comes to the center of your mat. Spin that back foot down and lift yourself to warrior two. Good. Deep bend in that left knee. Open it toward the pinky edge. Hips and shoulders square to the side of the mat. Gaze over your front hands or shut your eyes. Press into your back foot, fill up with air, and sink into your center. One more breath here in our warrior two. Good, and reach yourself forward, maybe flip your palm over, reverse your warrior. Maybe gaze behind you. Breath in. Exhale, reach. And slowly straighten out. Keeping a little micro bend in that left knee, setting up for Konasana. So maybe that right foot scooches forward a little. Reach, reach, reach. Hand to shin or the mat or the block. Right arm high. Good. So pull the left side of the heart up toward the sky. Maybe even lean back a little bit. Good. Feel an opening across the chest. And again, try not to collapse into that left side body. Feel a little bit of length there. And either stay here or start to reach that left hand forward and maybe the right hand joins overhead and you open your chest up toward the sky even more for a nice side body stretch. Good. 2 breaths. Good. We'll slowly start to release back, finding our reverse warrior, bending our left knee. And this is where we move into our balancing Halfmoon. So grab your block if you need it. We're gonna come down with that left hand about a foot in front, 6 inches to a foot in front of that left foot. Lift up through the right leg, finding your balancing Halfmoon. That back lifted leg is straight, the foot is flexed. Little baby micro bend in that left knee. Good. And again, maybe that left hand comes toward the heart for a little extra balance. You can bend your top knee and reach for your ankle for our Shavasana variation. One more breath wherever you are. Find what feels good on this side. And slowly we're going to release our right hand to the ground, square our hips off to the mat, finding our standing splits. So we can square our hip off, if that feels the best, lifting that right leg as much as you would like, forehead toward the shin bone. You can open up your hip here to get a little deeper. You're going to feel a deep stretch in that left hamstring, our standing leg. Good, one more breath. And then slowly that right knee is going to come behind the left. Hover for a moment. Maybe you pick your hands up off the earth. And then we come all the way down to a seat. So that left foot crosses over. And we're going to find our twist to the right this time. So reach up. left hand or twist to the left hand behind you, and then grab onto that front knee and twist yourself open. Big breath in. Exhale, twisting to the left. And then slowly finding our counter twist to the right. Good, so that right leg is set up for our half pigeon. Our left leg is going to swing back behind us. And we want to square our hips off. So our right knee is by our right wrist. Maybe there's space underneath your right hip. You can grab your block and place it there. Scoot your left foot back a little bit more. Hands come toward the hips. Open up through the heart. Maybe tuck your chin and stay right here. Or maybe come down to forearms or reach long on the ground and bring your forehead to the mat. A couple breaths in our half pigeon pose. Slowly lift up to long arms as you're ready. And then we're just simply going to roll onto that right hip and swing the left leg out in front of us. Good. So that right sole of the foot comes into the left thigh. Flex through that left foot. Reach up to the sky. Reach forward with a flat spine. And then fold over your leg. Good. Inhale, pull your heart forward. And exhale, deepen your fold. Relax your forehead down, tuck your chin. Steady, deep inhale. And release. Good. Roll up through the spine. And then we'll make our way to downward facing dog. However is the best way to get there for you. Meeting up in down dog and taking one final vinyasa. Good. So press into the hands, press your chest back toward your thighs, tailbone nice and high. Spread the shoulders across the back. Feel nice and strong in your downward facing dog. Be checking in with the body, checking in with the mind. How are you feeling different than you did at the beginning of your practice today? And then the feet come together to touch, and we roll ourselves forward. Knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana. Heart pulls through the arms, Cobra or up dog. Pull the shoulders back, and then lift up through the hips, downward facing dog. Fill yourself with air, and empty out. Good, and then drop down to the knees. And we're going to meet up on our backs. So lay down on your mat. You can pull the knees into the chest and roll left and right a couple times. And then place the feet down on the ground. Hip width distance and nice and close to the body. Reach your fingertips down and maybe your fingers graze your heels or they're almost there. Start to arch through the back a bit. Use those muscles of the back. Take a breath in, and on your breath out, lift the hips. Good. For bridge pose, our back bend. Press into the arms and the hands and the feet, and lift your hips to the sky. The glutes are relaxed here. The work is in the legs and the arms. And if you have your block, you can have a nice supported bridge today. Just simply taking the block under the tailbone and releasing the hips onto the block. Always a nice option for a little less effort. Good. Or you can roll your shoulders underneath you and deepen this posture a little bit, interlacing the hands underneath you and lifting up a bit higher. Good. Big belly breath here. Fill the belly with air. And exhale. Feel the belly button sink toward the spine. Another one. Inhale. Big belly breath. And exhale. Slowly release down. Good. When you get to the bottom, windshield wiper your knees a few times left and right, releasing through the back, the low back. Good. And we'll find one more back bend. So any of the variations we just did, if you safely have a full wheel practice, you can make your way there. And we'll lift ourselves into our bridge pose. Whatever variation you would like, and take a couple deep belly breaths. We're keeping our thighs nice and parallel, so if you feel like the knees are pulling out to the side, pull them in toward each other. Strong through the legs. One last deep breath in, and slowly release. When you get to the bottom, again, maybe windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Maybe releasing the head side to side as well. Good, and then we'll find our Supta Baddha Konasana. Bottoms of the feet come together, and the arms can mimic that shape up above you, bend in the elbows. And just lie down on your mat. Feel open and relaxed here. No expectations, no anticipation of the future. Just being here, grounded and open, ready to receive whatever comes at you. And breathing along the way. Perhaps you take your left hand to your heart, right hand to your belly, as we did at the beginning of our practice. Finding a couple last Ujjayi breaths. Feeling the belly, the chest, expanding the ribs as you breathe in. And as you exhale, feel the back of the heart melt into the mat. Feel grounded. Last big breath in here. Fill yourself with air. Feel the heartbeat in the hands. And exhale, ground yourself down. We're going to take our feet to the mat, and then we're going to lift them toward the forehead. Kind of pull ourselves into a big tight ball here. Wrap your arms around your shins, forehead to the knees. Tense all the muscles in the body. Take a breath in, pull yourself in, and then gently relax, expand. Final rest, Shavasana. Take up space, arms and legs wide. You can shimmy around a little bit, pick up your shoulders, set them back down. Find a comfortable place to lie for a few minutes. And you can let go of the Ujjayi breathing. Let the natural breath come into the body. Finding some gratitude for moving and breathing, for caring for yourself today. You're just hovering in this space of stillness for a few more moments. Perhaps beginning to deepen your breath, cultivating that joy, that sense of being present Remembering that our mind is a powerful tool. So what we choose to focus on, we're focusing on our anxiety for the future, our anticipation, instead of what's happening right in front of us. It can cause a bit of chaos in the mind. We always have the choice to become a bit more grounded and present, to find that joy in the everyday, mundane task. Move the fingers, move the toes, perhaps a big full body stretch. And if you'd like, roll onto your right side for a moment. Use your bottom arm as a pillow. Roll into the fetal position. And gently, as you're ready, start to find your comfortable seat at the front of your mat. And ground the palms on the knees. Shut the eyes, perhaps tuck the chin a bit. Pull the shoulders back and down. Feel open across the heart space. Take a big, steady inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Let go of something that no longer serves you. Another one, big breath in. And exhale, release something out. Good, and we'll start to reach our arms up to the sky one last time. Maybe your gaze comes up, and then we'll gather the hands at heart center. And I thank you all for sharing your practice today. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for taking care of each other. Thank you for being friends of the garden and for joining me today. Namaste.